Hi guys, my name is Ryland if you don't know me. Please ignore the mattress behind me. it's acting as a blank wall, okay? So if you have seen this channel before, then you know that I am a member of a DID system, and that we haven't posted in a really long time. A lot has really changed over the past couple of years for us. I don't really want to get into everything that's changed. I do think things have changed a lot for like most people over the past 2 years though. I think it's been a very chaotic time, so yeah, I don't need to really get into all that now, although I may at some point. YouTube just really wasn't something we were able to do for a while, and we've attempted to come back multiple times, and by that I mean we've filmed videos, but we just haven't known where to start, and it's never felt right, and we've ended up not posting. So I think what I've finally decided that feels right to do is I'm going to private our old videos, kind of try and start again. I may leave a couple of them up if they were ones that took a lot of work or something, but yeah, I'm going to kind of react to my first video, well, technically my second video, because my first video was a nothing video. It was just like, I have DID and I'm going to be talking about it, but not in this video, bye. I really want to kind of pay attention to what I said then, see if I agree with it, or disagree, and explain where I stand now, maybe add some things that I wish I'd said then, and kind of give the channel a fresh start with the new perspective that I have now after doing a lot of intense therapies over the past couple of years.
Guys, it's Ryland. I wanted to talk about DID and what it means, and then also what it means to me.
The others make fun of me now for the hi guys thing, but it's become such a joke. I had to do it in this video as well. Also, I don't know if I had a stuffed up nose in that video or what, but it really sounded like I was saying beans when I was trying to say means, so don't know what that was about.
DID is a trauma-based disorder. It comes from childhood trauma. So when a child is very young and they are put in a situation where they're repeatedly traumatized or abused to the point where they can't really understand or handle it, sometimes their mind will fracture into different categories, and instead of developing like a normal person, they'll develop in these categories that become alters like me.
So my explanation of what DID is and how it forms, pretty accurate, but I feel like I missed the mark just a little bit, so I want to clarify. Yes, it's caused by childhood trauma. I still stand by that. I don't know if my explanation of the brain fragmenting was as accurate as I want it to be. So from my understanding, it's not exactly the child placing things into categories. I think that's part of it. I think that part of it is you don't want to believe that this is happening to you, which is what causes the dissociation in the first place. There is a person in your life specifically who is hurting you, or really any sort of trauma, but that's my experience, so I'm going to speak on that. You need to compartmentalize, I think that's a better word to use, compartmentalize your feelings about the person, because it can be way too confusing to have these completely polar opposite things in your mind as a very young child. And from what I understand, which I kind of got at in the video, but I said it in a weird way, the brain and the personality is not fully formed at the age in which DID develops. Everybody sort of has these compartmentalized parts of themselves at a young age that eventually become a more cohesive identity. But because of the trauma, that doesn't happen, and it stays fractured and fragmented, and add dissociation in there and you get dissociative identity disorder, because the dissociation is what causes the amnesia, which is what makes these compartments not just like you not really fully understanding how to act in different situations, but more like you're not even aware of how you're acting in those other situations. And that's why these parts can develop like a timeline of their own experiences. I remember what happens when I'm out, and I rarely remember what happens when anybody else is out if I wasn't co-conscious. So I develop from my own experiences my own personality and sense of self. I hope that was a more accurate way of describing that.
How it manifests is these different alters come out at different times for different situations. They might have different genders, different personalities, ethnicities, anything.
I would like to clarify. I don't think that alters can actually have different ethnicities in the literal sense of that, because an ethnicity is like culturally based. I think that was a really poor choice of words. What I meant to say was that different alters can look very different. They can have their own sense of their appearance and experiences, and may identify with another ethnicity if their experiences were very based around that. But they're not technically like literally another ethnicity. They view themselves as having a different skin tone maybe than the body, but that does not equal actually living as another ethnicity. And when I filmed the original video, I was not really thinking about that.
For example, I'm a boy, but this body is a girl. I'm 15, the body's 18.
Yeah, that video really was a long time ago, because I'm 19 now.
I enjoy different things than everybody else does. Like, I enjoy video games and cartoons and film, things like that. And everybody else has their own interests.
All of that is still true. I still like those things. Haven't changed that much.
Different alters have different roles in the system, like different jobs. I don't know what the name for my role would be.
I still do not know what the name for my role would be. I don't know if I'll ever have a defined role, but it feels a bit strange, especially since there's so many of us now that we're aware of that we kind of weren't when we started the channel, which is part of the reason that we took a break, because it was just becoming a bit overwhelming and there was no way we were going to introduce everyone. I've been here a really long time and I still don't have a role, and sometimes I really do feel like useless because of that, but I know that you don't need to have a defined role to be useful in the system. I definitely think that I help in some ways, but I just don't fit into a box, I guess.
I don't have as much of the trauma as a lot of the others do. I do experience flashbacks from time to time, and when I experience flashbacks, I revert to the age of 7, which is different from the others because that's called age sliding, and I'm the only one who does that.
I don't experience trauma very often. When I do, I regress to the age of 7, and so yes, that is still true. However, I've pretty recently finally figured out that what we called little Ryland, 7-year-old me who was holding that trauma, is actually separate from me, which is why I have no memory of anything that happens when little Ryland's out. Little Ryland has no memory of anything that happens when I'm out. We maybe started out as one part and later separated further. Yeah. As far as the age sliding thing, I actually don't think I would consider myself an age slider because I'm always the same age, except when little Ryland's out, and little Ryland's always the same age when he's out. However, we do have other age sliders, quite a few actually, but yeah, I'll let them introduce themselves if and when they feel like it.
Different alters handle the trauma and the flashbacks in different ways.
Yes, that is completely true. I completely agree with that still. There are people in the system who are very affected by trauma memories, on a nearly daily basis. There are some who are affected by trauma memories very unpredictably and they don't really know when it's coming. And there are others who maybe don't remember anything traumatic. And there are others still who hold a lot of those memories but feel no emotional connection to them at all. They just keep those facts, I guess.
So I'm thinking about introducing you to some of the others. They can share their experiences and how they differ from...
So this is fun. I've talked to a few of the others about this already, and what I want to do is I would like to have some of the authors who have already made introduction videos in the past react to those videos and update them in a similar vein to what I'm doing now. I've never had my own official introduction video, so I'm just doing it with this one because I feel it's fitting. And others who have made their own actual introduction videos will update them with whatever they need to say.
The thing about DID is that it's not accepted by every psychiatrist, every medical professional. We as a system have had many different psychiatrists, therapists, doctors tell us that either DID is not real and we're wrong, we have the wrong diagnosis, or that we're faking it, or that it's real but they want to suppress the alters so only Katie comes out and the rest of us will just disappear if we aren't allowed to come out.
So sadly, I'm sure that this is still true. I've heard stories from friends of mine that I've met online who have had similar experiences. Thankfully, I have not had an experience like this. The system has not had an experience like this in a very long time. Over time, we learn how to advocate for ourselves and find out really quickly if the person we're seeing knows about DID or not, and if they don't, then they're just not a right fit for us.
That if we can help somebody who's experiencing the same things feel like they're not alone, or if we can help people who don't have any idea what DID is or don't understand it better and understand that it's not something to be afraid of, then it's worth it.
I completely agree with that still, and it's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this again.
I will get better at being on camera, I promise. Okay, bye.
Well, no promises this time. I just had to leave in this blooper.
Ryland, today I thought I would start with explaining what DID is and what it means to us.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you would like to see more of us, give it a thumbs up if you like it, give it a thumbs down if you dislike it so I know, and feedback in the comments if you have it, suggestions, except no comments about the mattress. I will not be taking feedback about the mattress. Bye!